everybody, welcome to Buckland Brewer Parish Council meeting. It's the 12th of March 2025. Apologies for absence. Councillors Donegan. Is everybody, we need to vote on that, don't we, as well? Can I have a show of hands, everybody that's happy with that? Thank you.
Joe, do you want to use your microphone?
Microphone's there. Declarations of interest.
I have to say for Fauna Hebmore, if we're discussing Fauna Hebmore.
It's on the agenda. So
Yeah, so yes.
Me as well, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to declare it for that.
I don't.
No, all right. Minutes of the meeting of the last Parish Council meeting on the 12th of February and the 27th of February, which is the Part 2 meeting. Has everyone read them?
Yes.
Happy?
Yeah.
Aye.
Sorry?
No.
You're not happy? Why is that then?
I'm just trying to find where we've got the wrong name for the planning application down, saying Milton.
Right,
You tell me where that's down.
Okay, right, we had this last meeting, Trevor, where you pointed it out, and you're pointing it out again now. We have an email system where you can email the clerk and point that out to her, so we don't go through this rigmarole every single meeting. Okay?
No, not really, but
Well,
yeah.
that's how it's now on.
Has it moved?
Anything
Yeah,
else?
it's supposed to be.
I just see it as being nitpicking at the clerk every time there's a meeting. Okay? You brought it up at the last meeting. Am I right? Did that brought up at the last meeting?
In the members' report.
In members' reports.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Yeah, but I'm not going on to it today.
If you've got a problem with the minutes, I'd suggest that you email the clerk, not bring it up in a meeting, beginning of a meeting. Otherwise, it makes for a very long meeting. Anybody else? Everybody else happy with the minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was that, Trevor?
I didn't say anything.
No, it was me.
Sorry, I thought you were saying something else then. Right. Thanks, Kate, for doing those minutes, the last one as well.
That's all right. We're a bit sketchy, not as good as the clerk.
Oh, no, very good. Very good indeed. Right, Andrew, update from Robert Hicks and Co regarding current potential grant funding re Thornhill Headmore. It's there for you.
So Thornhill Headmore, it all changed actually last night. There were some fairly major changes and things. So there was sort of what was called the Sustainable Farming Incentive Scheme, which was pulled literally last night, which under that, potentially we could have been looking at sort of £30,000. At the minute, 8,800 is where you're to, and that is guaranteed until 2028. Yeah, we didn't know it was going to get pulled, literally. It was just quite a stressful 24 hours. But in terms of Thornhill Headmore and where that's going, so currently you're under an old higher level stewardship agreement that dates back to 2011. You have missed out, but you haven't, I suppose, is because to get out, you wouldn't have been allowed to come out until the end of May, because that is the anniversary date of your current agreement. And actually, what's coming forward in the summer, there's going to be an increase in your payment, which has not risen since 2011. They have announced that it will increase. We don't know by how much yet. They're also bringing out what they're calling a higher tier scheme, which is sort of similar to what you're under, but under the new sort of domestic policy, which we can look at moving from your current HLS across into that higher tier. But realistically, I think we'll be looking towards next year because the higher tier system hasn't been built, isn't tested, hasn't been any applications for 2 years. So I think for the minute, the best thing you can do really is stay where you're to, wait and see what money is going to come from the rise in your payment. Is going to be, we don't know, we're being told probably May we're going to find out. So I'll update you then as to sort of at the minute. You've got your 8,800, that is guaranteed till 2028, and that is going to increase. I have no idea by how much at the minute. I'm hoping it's going to be sort of to similar levels towards where the SFI was, because in effect, some of those options that you could have had are the same as what you're in, just under a new scheme with a higher payment rate. So in theory, that's what we're guessing is going to happen, but yeah, it's been an interesting 24 hours like that. So yeah, there's a bit less to tell you than what I was possibly thinking. I mean, it doesn't necessarily change things because I don't think for you, and with it being a triple SI, I think that DEFRA would actually prefer you to be in a higher tier agreement, which is more bespoke in terms of its management and what you can actually do or not do, whereas under the SFI, Sustainable Farming Incentive, it is very black and white, and some of that, there were issues over like it being common land and also swaling, which we're going to have to keep swaling going forward just to manage some of those areas. So it's disappointing it's been pulled because there was another option, but at the same time, I don't think you necessarily miss out on anything, and actually there's going to be better to come, especially now because that HLS payment, as we've been told, is going to rise. You're probably going to catch up and it isn't going to look as bad, really. So yeah, I think actually sitting tight, keeping what you've got, because that's the other thing, is if you came out of your existing agreement, there would be a funding gap of 6 to 12 months potentially, whereas actually by staying, we haven't got that gap, and once we know more about higher tier, we can swap across
So
and
we're
get
not
that.
locked in then after May?
After May, so you have an annual anniversary, which you've got right up until 2028, and we've always been told, so there was, how it worked was your initial 10-year agreement was, it was either 2010 or 11, I can't quite remember which now, which that was a 10-year one. Then we had a few years of annual extensions. Then it was 2023, we were given a 5-year extension because the RPA became bored of all of the paperwork of annual extensions because there was a lot of paperwork involved in doing that. So then they gave you a 5-year one, but you could end it on an anniversary date, which yours is the end of May, is your anniversary date. So every year at the end of May, potentially, you could end and move across without paying back any money. Hopefully, when they design the higher tier scheme, we might be able to come out 3 months early and they'll pay you, say, 3/4 of that year's money, and then they won't pay you the last 3 months. But it's new systems. The old scheme was European. This is going to be domestic. It's a Labour government who are trying to find their feet and work out where they want to go, what they want to do with agri-funding and things. So there's a lot of change. But for you and what you've got, you will fall very low on their list of priorities because it's common land and it's triple SI. It is complex, and they will sort everybody else and make sure it all works before you even have an opportunity to do anything.
So it's a good idea just to stay where we put then, really.
Yeah, for the minute, it's stay where you to. We'll know a bit more with this HLS increase. We'll then determine, do you stay until the end of your agreement in 2028? Or do you look actually to move across, say, next year into the higher tier? Until we know the offer and the options, I can't tell you which one you're going to do. But for the minute, I think it'll be sit tight until May next year, possibly May 28. But once I know what HLS is increasing by and how higher tier is going to work, then we can sit down and have a bit more of a look at, right, this is what you've got now, and what you would have until May 28. This is what you could get under higher tier, and at that point is sort of a decision to be made as to, well, which way do we go, what do we do? But until then, yeah, it's good where we're to, and it's going to get better. We know it will get better in May, don't know by how much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, anybody?
I have.
Yeah, go on.
Andrew, cars on the moor.
Yeah.
I know I keep banging on about this, but they're doing damage. They're driving across the moor, they're going on wet ground and everything. And I know I've said to you about putting signs up, and we have to apply to Natural England, don't we? Is there any way that we could apply to Natural England, so where there is a gap where cars are driving through, to put gates there, just a single gate, because they won't be able to get around it because of the... So there's about 3 or 4 places where we could put a single gate with a chain and give Coles have the access to that, because they need access to that for animals, and obviously whoever's going to repair the fencing and do the swaling, you know, everything else. And on the other side, where cars use it as a car park, could we ask Natural England if we could put some sort of posts there, wooden posts, and a gate, or, you know, a rise and fall gate
Closes, you have
to
access.
yeah, well, they'd have access to a gateway. That's what I mean. They'd have to put another gateway there. So they've got a chain and it's locked, so they can access the moor. But it stops all these cars driving, because they're just driving all over it now.
But
and
don't they have
They
a
are,
right?
they're
Don't they have a right to park on the right-hand side? Because it's harder on the right-hand side.
So the sort of south-westerly part is not triple SI scheduled,
Yeah.
which as you go from the crossway towards Coles Yard, that would be the piece on the right-hand side, that is not triple SI. So that piece doesn't have as strict designations as the other side. The large part of the moor towards Stib Cross is triple SI, and then where the junction is, the sort of north-westerly section, which is where there's the pond and the things, sort of the village side, not where the mast is, the other side. Those 2 corners are the triple SI sections, not where the mast is, and north of Coles Yard. So those sections are not as heavily protected because they don't have that triple SI designation. So that side is easier.
You know, like on the burrows, they've got the wooden stakes and the little fence on top, and then that's what I was going to suggest. I think it probably needs to go to a vote or something anyway, but I just need to ask you if we could still have the car parking area there, but restrict it, because people are literally driving...
They're going up further, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's churning it all up, and, you know, there's wildlife and stock, and then... But
it's all a potential. I would run it past Natural England to double check first and make sure they're happy, and make sure it still sort of works within the management agreement and everything, which I think it would, but yeah, I would double check and ask them and speak to our...
That left side, it's going to be possibly two gates, which are going to cause less damage in these vehicles and motorbikes, and then we can put the signs up as well, rather than putting posts in.
Wouldn't posts be better? You know, having wooden posts and like you can put a gate on them. So some of them, you know,
That's
like
what
when
I'm
you,
about, put a gate.
the post that has, like when you're going into the forestry, they have a metal bit on it. Do you know what I mean? That you can pull it back out the way. It's just like what you have in the forestry. Like
Yeah, potentially you could have like a swing gate, which then just has a padlock on the back, and there can be 3
because
keys
if
for
it was
allocated
like a
people.
proper gate, I just think that sometimes they could pick it up and somebody could steal it, couldn't they? Because there's nobody up there.
Put the hinges upside down.
Thinking it would
They
be
won't get it.
with a padlock. Yeah,
We've been all through this lot in the past. We've had bollards across the... it was all made up, all the banks around. Cattle roaming on their own, they just decide, we're going to make a gap here. And they start walking, same place every time. And you've got a, you know, it's one cow, then 2, and it gets bigger. I mean, and we had barriers up as well. Well, they rotted out, I reckon, and whatever as well. So it's well, it's common land, you know.
Yeah, I just think I'm thinking about wildlife and everything else, the damage to the moor. And, you know, we get a lot of reports from public, don't we, about it, about cars driving across it, turning it up and things like that.
But
just think
I
we need
suppose
to
you've got to
respect
kind of balance that a bit as well, as still allow people to park.
Yes, but
You
not
know.
drive over a bit that you can see they're not supposed to. It's 4-wheel drive vehicles that's doing it as well. It's not just a normal car.
Because we want people to go up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so long as they got somewhere
You
that
don't
they
want to
can...
have it so they don't want to go there.
How long will it take you to find out from Natural England if there's something we could... Because obviously there's money in the account, isn't there? So when Dave stopped coughing...
A week
And
Thursday.
the fencing as well. Obviously, you haven't been able to get any money for the fencing, Andrew. Andrew?
No, but the fencing sort of, well, it's not really deteriorated much in the last 3 years, to be fair. It sort of has got to that sort of standard. There's the scrub clearance, which I've spoken to the person who did some work on Common Moor at Putford, so hopefully they'll be able to try and line something up for the autumn, but it was just trying to fit it in. This year has not been, weather conditions post-Christmas have been a nightmare. We thought it might have got done, but it hasn't, and now we're out of time. Because of the restrictions under the agreement, we can't do it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the autumn we can get some of the gorse and things a bit more under control, because now, yeah, he's keen to do it. So we'll get some prices and get those sort of things tidied up and sorted out, which would be good to actually get that back under control a little bit and sorted out. In terms of timing for Natural England, 2-3 weeks, hopefully.
So if we get it back onto the agenda for, say, maybe May?
Yeah, I would say yeah. Yeah. There's a chance of it for the April agenda, possibly, depending on... There's a chance. If
probably better in April.
Yeah, I will try and... Yeah, I'll send the email tomorrow to try and get some answers as quick as I can. But yeah, it's just relying on Natural England, which...
I've got one more. Sorry. The ragwort that was up there last year, was that all cleared?
Percentage of it was pulled, and then we'll have to see what comes back this year. And
Pulled again.
yeah, it'll probably take a bit of work,
Few years,
which yeah, it's one of those that we've never had anything until last year. It sort of came out of nowhere. It was last year was a particularly bad year nationally for ragwort, but yeah, we pulled quite a lot of it. So yeah, we'll have to see what comes and try and get a working party of something together potentially.
Thank you, Andrew. Anybody else got any more questions for Andrew while he's here? No, thank you very much.
That's all right, no problem.
Thank you. You wouldn't just put that microphone back in the middle of these guys, please? Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Done. Thank you very much. Public participation. Oh, sorry. I was looking straight through you there, Clive. Go.
You need a microphone.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're going to have
Do
to...
you want this one?
Yeah, come up. It's all right, Dave. It's all right.
Oh, right.
Probably easier like that. Yeah, yours is on, I think. Is it? Just talking to it. Low in it.
No, it's not
No,
switched on.
it's not switched on.
On the top.
No, that's all right. Sally's going to come and turn it on.
Switch the thing on.
You can tell when it's on, can't you? It makes a funny noise.
Yeah, his is a bit. There you go.
Yeah, you're on now.
Right, we're on. Good evening.
Just blown anybody with ear things in.
Raise the roof.
Good evening, Chair, councillors. I've just learned something about a road closure proposal. Not a temporary one, a permanent one. Between Moorhead and the Clavelli Road at the Atlantic Way. Is this something I've just caught up on? Other people know about it or not?
It's been diverted. It's because of the housing estate that's been built there. They're going to divert the road through the council estate.
Right.
No, through the estate.
Right. What I believe they're doing is closing the road there.
Yeah, they will.
They will.
So
Right.
Instead of going straight up, it's going to go
Yeah. Have you ever been along that road?
all the time.
Right. No, the diversion road.
No, it isn't built yet.
It's not done yet. No.
Sorry, are they building a new road or just diverting from Moorhead through to Bowden Gardens?
No, they're putting in a new bit of road through where the houses are going to be. So you know where the milk kiosk is, okay? So from just above that bit of road that's to be used now will be closed. But so they're going to divert it and build a road. They haven't built it, I don't think yet, up through what's going to be the estate to come up just a little bit further down.
Right, that's slightly different to what I understood. So if I got it wrong, I'm quite pleased because I thought they were diverting you when you got to Moorhead straight across.
No,
and having-
no,
oh,
no,
right.
no.
You wouldn't want to do that.
No, you wouldn't want to do
I've
that.
done it once. I don't want. Wouldn't
No,
want
I
to do
know.
it. Right,
I
so
know.
there's a new road being built.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm
That-
You
very-
can see it actually when you're coming along that way. You can see it where it's going to go off.
They're
Right.
working on it, but they haven't
Yeah.
done it yet.
Right, okay. Can you actually have a look at the planning application to see that, or what
Yeah,
they're doing?
it should be on there.
Show it, fine.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased about that, thank you.
That's all right. Hold on to that for 1 second.
Yeah, because somebody else might want.
Keith?
No, I'm saving it up for next time.
Anybody else? No.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is.
Scrape it across
Yeah,
the
sorry
table.
about that. Do
Right,
apologise.
thank you. Correspondence and updates from Joe.
Okay, I've got quite a few things this evening. Apologies for that in advance. Right, highways. There are loads and loads of roadworks going on between now and the summer. There's a massive project with BT. They're replacing lots of poles. There are going to be a couple of traffic lights or road closures within Buckland Brewer or just outside in May. Only for a day maximum, probably only a few hours. But they are coming up. So the one on the 20th of May will be the left-hand turning after you come over the bridge at the Glen. That Tithicott Road is just going to be closed for a short time. And there are also going to be temporary traffic lights between Catsborough Cross and Frithlestone on the 22nd of May. But aside from all of that, South West Water, National Grid, and goodness knows how many other people have got a massive work schedule going on. So if you are planning any journeys where time is of the essence, I would strongly urge you to look at the interactive roadworks map on the Devon County Council website, because it's got all of them on there. But there are masses. Yeah, so warning about that. There's the Devon Association of Local Councils. They are going to be running another devolution update meeting on the 8th of April. It was on the newsletter. I have signed up, but any of the councillors can sign up to attend if they wish to. New model financial regulations have just been published, so we will need to do the Buckland Brewer Parish Council ones from scratch. There are quite a lot of changes because of changes to the law, especially around procurement. There's going to be another set of model standing orders soon, so as soon as we do those, we'll need to do those from scratch as well. And the recommendation for all councils to switch to gov.uk email addresses is also being ramped up. Now that is already in hand for Buckland Brewer Parish Council, so it's all going through at the moment. It's part of the website project, so sort of the second phase of that, and that's all going through. You won't lose your mailboxes, your existing mailboxes. And if anybody sends you an email to the old email address, short term, it will divert automatically. Right, another big project going on is the Morocco UK Power Project. Again, there's massive activity around that. It's all on their website. Parties can register to receive information and be part of inspections. Buckland Brewer is just outside a direct impact area, but there will be knock-on disruption as and when that all gets started. So, again, just keep an eye on that as things get posted to it. Right, Devon and Cornwall Police, we've got a change of police contact because our PCSO is now on maternity leave. So I've been in touch with him, and we're our new liaisons at PC at Bideford. The audit. Now, because of the vexatious complaints that we received last year, our audit for last year is still not signed off.
What?
Yeah, so I've been in touch with the external auditor and they have it all in hand, but it does mean that we don't know whether we've got a clean bill of health yet, and if I've made any mistakes doing the last year's activities, I may have repeated them again this year because I don't know at the moment. So I'm working on no news is good news, but it's very close to the wire because this year's instructions are due to come out on Friday.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we were so late submitting it because we had these complaints that went to our auditor and the monitoring officer. We had to jump through quite a lot of hoops to satisfy them that there was no foundation to the complaints because a lot of them were financial related. So because of that, we were way past the deadline. In fact, Little John's, who's the external auditor, extended it without charging us penalties, which they should have done. It could have cost us £1,000 in penalties. Anyway, so that's the latest update on that. The website's live. There are some amendments to be done. It is a work in progress, but you know, I think the format is a big improvement, and there will be some amendments to it coming through. And
But you haven't taken over as the...
I haven't taken over yet. No, I've not got admin access. But hopefully, end of the week, beginning of next week, I shall be full throttle on that. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan. 393 council agendas. Does everyone understand what this is about? It's basically last month, George, obviously as you know he's not here tonight, basically wanted an agenda to come out earlier than the draft agenda so that he could have a look at the first one before the second one, and so that he could see if anything had been put on the agenda that he might want to put on.
I think he's worried about doubling things up, so he'd like to see what's on it.
Yeah, but like we've explained to him, if there's something being doubled up, we would say you doubled up and doubled up.
Just put it, yeah.
So I just thought this was the best way of putting this one to bed as it was, that it doesn't come up every month, is that we had it on the agenda on the agenda, and we voted if we want to stay as we are, or have the idea of that George had, which quite frankly makes more work for the clerk.
I was going to say that, wouldn't it be I don't know what he wanted to do, but I just thought it'd be a lot more work and time for Joe.
He wanted 2 days before the draft agenda came out.
That's the Monday then.
Yeah.
Just making it easy.
Yeah, and then a draft agenda to come out on the Wednesday, so that he could see on the Monday if there was anything on there that he might want to put on, so he didn't duplicate on the Wednesday.
Right.
And if you kept up with that, you're really good. But it's... So basically, I'm proposing that we stay as we are. Does anyone want to say... Which is that we get the draft agenda on the Wednesday. That's right, Jo?
Well, either Wednesday or the Thursday, so you get at least 24
But we have one
hours.
of these, don't we?
Yes.
Right, that tells us when it's all happening. So, I'm proposing it stays as it is. Does anyone want to second me? Thank you, Kate. Can I have a shirt?
I would just suggest we wait until George is here.
No, it's on the agenda today. It's a motion and it's going to go through today. Right, so you second me. Those in favour, show of hands, please. Thank you. Trevor, we can't wait for somebody to be here, just because it's on the agenda.
Yeah, well, the parishioners don't know what's going on half the time. And this is the problem. I only picked up yesterday.
Right, I'm going to stop you there. Thank you.
You're cutting me off again.
No, I am,
Yes,
because I'm trying to keep to the agenda. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right.
Thank you.
I asked to have it put on the agenda.
What?
At the last meeting.
The agenda's been put on the... That's what we've just done, the agenda.
Well,
393 is the agenda.
yeah.
And that's what's on the agenda, and that's what we've just voted for. Okay. 394 emergency plan. Sorry, Kate, can you?
Yeah, so we, you and I and Dave and Joe, yeah, and Jim sent us apologies. We met, we went through the plan that we'd been presented with before. We've jigged a few things around, but we've made it, well, Joe has made it work for Buckland. So it's slightly slimmed down, but there was a lot that we needed to keep it in it in case we did have a big emergency. Most of it is about if the power goes down and that kind of thing. We will have at some point a little run through and put a small team together of parish councillors and other volunteers, but I'm more than happy with it now. It was me that raised it before because I felt it was overcomplicated, but we've simplified it out and we just have to see if it works. But we just have to, you know, vote whether we adopt it. So,
has everyone had time to read the new emergency or the emergency plan? Not all of it. So it's basically just to make it simplified. Is there will be like a gold, silver, and bronze sort of control if there's an emergency. It makes sense that the clerk is the top, who will be able to disseminate information out. We suggested that gold would be probably a chair and a vice chair, and then bronze would be, it's a bit policey, I know, would be people, we asked for volunteers and things like that, so George being the snow warden and things like that. And we felt that the Methodist Church was probably the best place if people were being evacuated in a smaller number.
In the first instance,
in the first instance.
If we needed it, we could use the village hall.
So we're going to be fluid, aren't we?
We felt that if it got to be a bigger incident, the police or ambulance or fire would be involved, in which case we'd just be the go-betweens.
We would.
So it was about the smaller type, power type incidents that we would be managing. I mean, I don't think it's masses that we're going to be managing, you know, really. Yeah. And, you know, if it snows and things. So I was a lot happier with it once we'd gone through it like that.
Okay. Okay, sorry, Dave, yeah.
Can you make sure that it goes to the village, to the whole committee, then it can be put on, because they'll have to kind of... So make sure it goes to the whole committee, so they will have to, you know, discuss it as well, won't they? Because if we're going to use the whole, and the same with here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're aware of...
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I think the amount of emergencies we have is like a power cut, and it will be a couple of us coming up here to boil water and get them out to people. I can't... If a plane lands on Buckland Brewer, I don't think any of us will be...
I don't think we've ever had to initiate an emergency plan in the whole time.
But we will need a practice.
I think it's
But
safe
just
that
making
they
sure,
stay home, really.
making sure people know.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I propose that, finally, I propose that this emergency plan goes forward. Does anyone want to second me on that? Oh, Sally, you're going to okay. And those in favour of this emergency plan that's been sitting here waiting for the last 3 years? Drew? No? Against?
I don't think, I haven't read it all properly, but I just think it's safer to stay home and like what we did last time.
Kath, you're not understanding.
No, I'm not understanding what you're saying.
It's about how we can help other people if you can't stay home. So we've got to have something in place, just in case. I mean, it is a just in case scenario, but we do have to have a plan and some contact details for people like the emergency services. So I was sceptical initially, but having gone through it, we do need it. We have to have something in writing.
We're not going to drag people out of their homes.
No,
Like we're going to take stuff to them from here.
Right, are you abstaining or you...
No, that's fine.
Okay, so we've got 7 votes. Are you abstaining or voting against, Trev?
Abstaining.
Abstaining, okay. Okay, 395, goalpost. Decision whether to purchase replacement goals for the amenity field. I believe, Joe, you... What? Sorry?
The right, I'd submitted the a grant request to Councillor Morris. This, if you remember, he offered money, so I submitted the grant request, and we have to have the invoices in by the end of the month.
Thank you.
And who was going to, have you had anything back from, was Mr Hewitt going to ring somebody?
Gerald Ashton.
He was going to ring Gerald Ashton? No.
Right, well, Joe's actually tried this person. They don't know
Yes.
what Joe's talking about when
No.
talked about goalposts, and I think we've got to have this done by the end of the month. So you've got, go on.
Can I just say as well, the other thing is if you can get somebody else to make them, we've then got to source nets, we've got to do all that as well, haven't we, really?
We're not going to get that done by the end of the month.
And I just think we should just buy a bespoke, ready,
Yeah.
ready-made.
And you found,
You can see, I've seen them on,
Yeah. you found some, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I propose that we go ahead, because we've got to have this in by the end of the month. We go ahead, so we've got these
Yeah.
replaced.
Right.
I propose that we go ahead with this. Anyone want to second me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sally. And those in favour of carrying on
Yeah.
getting these ones? Are you abstaining again, Trevor? Oh, good. Okay. 396. The vehicle activation requires maintenance. Over to you, Phil. This is yours.
Yes, basically, I mean, just
Can you
imagine
use the
everybody
microphone?
knows
Phil,
that
can you-
the vehicle activated sign at the top of the road there is telling mice and men and everything but vehicles to slow down. It's munching its way through batteries as well. Fortunately, Richard Hooper produced one from somewhere and he's donated it to the parish council. Very nice of him, thank you very much. But I've had long conversations at the people, the manufacturers of this piece of equipment, who've basically said at the end of the day, I can't download any data to give to them because that doesn't work. So they've just said, can you bring it down to us and we can have a look at it. What the result of that is going to be and how much that's going to end up costing, I've no idea.
Where is that, Phil, that you have to take it? 'Cause you said
It has to go to Red Hill.
You volunteered.
Stock signs at Red Hill.
You very kindly said that you would take it up there, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could probably get it there, but to try and save the courier costs. But it's whether we just leave the sign as it is now, chewing batteries up,
No.
or do we actually get it
That
sent away to
doesn't,
see?
but that doesn't work out as economically.
No,
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, no.
And we do need that sign up there because I do think it works. I
How
think
long
it
have we had it? Because obviously it's got no guarantee anymore, has it? So
It's
that will
always
be
been there
gone.
since I've been here.
Yeah, I think it's,
Because we used to be quite good to kind of download it every now and then just to see what's going on.
What are you proposing then, Phil?
Do we have any insurance on it before, or anything like that? We can't claim off insurance saying it's broken.
somebody go up there and whack it with a hammer.
Sorry.
Valid claim.
Well, it is now. He said it on live stream.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. This is a problem because for some reason, it's not downloading any information at all because they're saying it's the radar that's messing about, and they would know that from the download if it was suddenly showing things going past at 150 miles an hour. But all I'm getting is just zero, nothing. I'm just getting it's not producing any readings on the data. So I've got nothing to give back to the manufacturer, and they've got nothing to go on. So they've just said, well, the only way we're going to resolve this is to have a look at it.
How much is the courier to send it up then?
No idea, but it's going to be a lot of money, isn't it?
Are you going that way anyway?
You're going that way, aren't you?
Well, yes. I mean, at periods of time, I will be drifting
But
up
even
and
if
down.
it's
but
even if it's a one way, even if you
yeah,
do it one way,
that's
the other
right.
way.
Yeah. I mean, I'll find out the courier charge,
Mm.
see how much it does cost.
Will, if you did get it up there, will they give us a quote of how much it
Yes.
would be to pay?
Yes.
So I'm wondering whether the quote to reinstate it will be nearly as much as the quote to replace it.
No,
Because
absolutely.
sometimes these
Yes.
things
Yeah.
are fiendishly expensive to reinstate, aren't
Yeah,
they?
Not worth it, is it?
No, no.
It
Yeah.
might as well just go straight and replace it.
No, I mean, to me, there's nothing inside it. You open the box and there's two printed circuits
So
and a radar. And to me, to sort of change the printed circuit and send it back, which I've had that conversation, I sort of said, well, if I send the box up, surely you haven't got to replace the box. You've got the box. But, you know what these people are like.
So are you suggesting that we get it looked at, or are you suggesting we just get a new one?
No, I'm suggesting we have them
Look at it.
analyse it. They can stick it on their machine and
Yeah.
diagnose the fault. It might just be a diode that's gone pop and it just needs
Yeah.
a no more.
It might be a simple solution.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, we had problems when the door came open, wasn't it? But it's a question of whether we leave it as it is until it eventually dies.
No.
No, it keeps coming on really bright as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah,
it's-
yeah. Of course, it shines straight through my bedroom window.
Oh, well, there's the reason, isn't it? So what are you proposing, Phil?
Well, I arranged with Stock Science to get it up there and them to have a look at it and give us a price.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
And everybody in favour of Phil sorting that out?
I
Are
don't
you,
know why I'm voting for
are you,
myself.
yeah, you know you are voting. Are you abstaining, Trevor?
No,
Against?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah. I tell you what I have seen. In the Litport Echo, sorry, the Crier, in the Crier, must have been back at Christmas time, our local police, what do you call her, you know, the PTSO.
Yeah.
She was asking people in Torrington that the constabulary would give them a camera, speed,
Gatso, yeah.
a kit.
Mobile Gatso.
What they need really is like 4 volunteers who could go and they'd have training. And this was all done by the Devon and Cornwall Constabulary.
Oh, so do they have, like, you mean like the gun thing? Like,
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could get that onto the agenda next month.
Yeah.
Yeah? Or could you add that to the agenda for next month?
Because I know in some places they've got the kids to be.
Yeah, I've
Oh, we
seen
did.
that.
I
They
got
kill.
them.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
moving on, guys,
It's good,
because we're
isn't
going
it?
off to do thing.
Because
397,
we're moving around and
I'm running a smooth ship tonight. Decision whether to hold a bonfire event in 2025 and whether donations should be collected for a good cause. Obviously, it was highly popular last year,
I think that'd be a good idea.
but we had people offering to give us a donation, and obviously we hadn't voted on taking donations, and we would have to think about who we'd want those donations to go to.
Playing Field Association.
That's a good idea. I second that.
Well, I thought I'd get it there quick before anybody else.
I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you.
I think it needs to go back into the village.
Oh, yeah,
I
or
think it
half
should
and
be
half.
It should be for the village, shouldn't it, really? Something.
Mm.
Chairs.
agree who it goes to, Lent.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what about the
Can I
air
ask-
ambulance?
Well,
Can I
I
ask a
could be around
stupid
them.
question?
Okay.
Why is it the parish council might be organising this and not the Playing Field Association? There's probably a really good reason, it's just I don't know.
Because it's down at the amenity field and it's the parish council.
Right.
Playing Field
Well, we've done it for the
Association
last
would
3
be
years.
happy to do
Okay.
it. Would you not?
Yeah, that was the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wondered if it was to do with our insurance and
No.
that kind of thing. I didn't know if it was an insurance matter.
So I'm just curbing him in, who's looking at my other half going, we'll do it, won't we? And I can see her going,
Well, that was going to be what I was going to say. I kind of assumed that it would be a playing field thing rather than a parish council thing.
no, it was the parish council last year
Yeah.
and it was the
That was
parish council the year before.
And that
And
was-
we
Done it 3 years.
Could we look at silent ones?
No, I don't think there is any such thing as a silent one.
We don't like the thing.
Didn't you? Yeah, didn't.
Mm.
I think there
Joe,
is.
didn't you?
The ones I got last year were as silent as they get.
How's that?
They were the low noise ones.
I know my...
It's loud or louder, I'm afraid.
Or you have
Yeah.
it up in the playing field, and the playing field.
Yeah, we got it's the risk of weather then, isn't it?
No, you're dipping out already, aren't you?
No.
Oh, anyway.
Who's,
Well,
who's the Charlie that stood underneath this lot this last year?
That's
I
because
mean-
I nominated you to do it.
So I've got no
And you did a
problem
very
with that.
good job as well.
Yeah, I've got no problem.
Right, so can we can sort out who it's for donation-wise, but does everyone think in principle do
I think it's a good idea.
donations, it's a way of
Yeah.
collecting money for
Something.
maybe half and half,
Yeah.
maybe the
Yeah.
playing field and the air ambulance or the blood bikes or something like that.
Yeah.
But we can decide that nearer the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of half think really.
Go on.
I do think it's a playing field thing. I'm not quite sure why parish council are organising it, but you know.
Joe, can you answer that?
It's been done the last 3 years there.
Yeah.
Partly because of the facilities at the hall, you haven't got to worry about loos and things like that, and you have got shelter. And also, it was an opportunity for the hall to fundraise as well. They ran the bar.
I'm just conscious there were a lot of people who were concerned about animals and things, weren't they? And when our kids were little, we always went up the playing field. We were away from quite a lot of the houses, and if it rained, they got wet, you know.
Are you suggesting that it's done at the playing field? Because that's what I suggested last year, but at that point, the
Food.
no, the playing field didn't come under the umbrella of the parish council at that point.
No, I feel it
So
personally.
you're
I
saying
feel
it should
would
be up there, but the parish council...
I think it would be less hassle for people with dogs and things.
Yeah,
We're just
because
that little bit further out,
This is
aren't
all the
we?
way around now, isn't
No,
it?
no, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
But also, are you saying that the playing field funds it
Or maybe we do it jointly.
jointly? That sounds very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, in principle...
Sorry.
No, you've got really valid points.
it's a
It's a really valid point,
Yeah.
and that's what this is about, is we discuss these things.
Yeah.
But it does mean a little bit more work, doesn't it? Because, you know, if you have a bar, it's going to be up.
Got to hire things.
Could we
€7
discuss
Saturday.
the
Yes.
finer points of
Yeah.
it?
In principle,
In principle, yeah.
right, in principle,
Yeah.
that we run a bonfire night in 2025, November the 5th, or near it to the, well, November the 5th.
With
In
the
principle.
playing field.
No.
No, we'll decide that. In principle.
Right, okay.
Somewhere in the parish.
Yeah.
Somewhere, yes, okay.
Somewhere, we'll do the final details. So we're going to, in principle, say yes to that, and then we'll work out where it's going to be. Basically, off camera, where we all have a...
Well, I've said my bit.
No, you're absolutely right. Okay, so I'll propose that.
I'll second it.
Second it, yeah. Okay, and show of hands in favour. Oh. Yeah, full house. Training requirements, 398, 2025 training requirements, agreement of a preferred date for DOUT training. We can't really do the dates now, can we?
Well, all I really need to know from everybody is it will have to be a daytime. So if there is a preferred day, and the rest of it really is going to have to be up to the trainer's availability, and then we can work out what we want the content to be. But that's what I need from everyone this
It's
evening.
mainly going to be Sally and Kath, isn't it?
As long as I have enough notice.
Okay.
There's more to do with the notice rather than the day.
Okay. And is there any specific training requirements that anybody feels that they need?
There's a list. Is there a list of what's available? I think there is sometimes. Yeah.
They will tailor it to our requirements.
Oh.
Is there any mandatory that we have to do?
There are quite a few topics I would suggest.
Yeah, there's mandatory ones that we need to do.
Something like agendas and members' reports and things like that, maybe.
And I think some support with when we've decided on financial things.
Yeah.
You know, just some basic principles about how we work out what we're doing. Because I've
Right,
done
okay.
it from a governor point of view, but it's different being
Yeah, it
parish
is.
councillor.
I guess they come with a cost, don't they?
Yeah, but we'll be doing it
Which
as a
is-
whole, as a parish council, all in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
At least everybody has the benefit of that.
I think it's a good idea.
Are we voting for this? Oh, it's on the agenda, it's a motion, are we?
Well, I just really need to know whether you are voting, is everybody wanting to attend? I suppose that's what you're voting
Yeah, okay
for. Or
then.
do you want to do a collective training
Yeah.
session?
Okay, I'll
And if
propose.
so, when?
Okay. Oh.
You know, like days, rough days.
Right, I'll propose that we do it, and Monday's your better day,
Yeah,
isn't
it
it?
is, yeah.
Monday, could you,
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be
you
fine.
can sort that. The rest of us are at the idle retired, so we're okay. Oh, sorry, as long as it's
Change
done.
my chiropractor appointment, do you mind?
Oh, and your afternoon nap. Oh dear.
It doesn't matter any day.
It depends when and where.
any day, any time, any place. All right, Joe?
In
As long as we've
principle,
got notice, that's
in principle.
Okay. We will be the
it's not next
any
week.
time, any place, anyway. Right, okay, I propose that. Somebody
I'll
second
second.
it? Oh, thank you. Would do Dave.
Yeah.
And show of hands in favour of training?
We've done that one, yeah.
Which is that?
That's for the
Training.
Whether you want
Do you want training or not?
I don't know whether I want training and pass that.
No? Is that a no? Okay, right.
Yeah, that's a no.
That's a no. Okay. Members' reports. Start with you, Dave.
Nort.
Naught. Trevor?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing from me.
Dash on tonight.
Nothing from you. Nothing from you.
Mine was only just to ask if you've spoken to Alison Holmes regarding the staggered gate things.
That's not really members'
It's not
reports.
really
That's
members'
something you could have emailed.
I'll email, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
That's it, nothing then, nothing.
That was a full house then. Okay, obviously the district council is not here. New planning applications. Has everybody read 401? Building at Higher Thorn Farm, Thorn Cottage, Buckland Brewer, and it's a proposed equestrian building with an incorporated storage area to replace existing storage container. Has everyone read that?
Yes.
I think I did, yeah.
They don't mention that it's close to a listed building.
Do they not?
I don't know why. They just don't. It's just that, you know, there's enough about the listing, the likes of Orley Court.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, check with the planner.
Okay, right.
A nice piece of road.
Hmm.
Okay, those in favour of 401 new planning permission application?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Over to you, Joe.
Okay, right, we've currently got £32,268.80 in the cash book. The bank balance is 27,344. We've got quite a lot of cheques outstanding, still to be paid, nearly £5,000 there. So with the reserves and the cash book balance, we have a fund balance of £54,267.45 in the general funds. And in the restricted funds, there's a total fund balance of £48,543.43. The Grazier's payments are going to be going out imminently because they are made in March. So obviously there'll be a bit of a time lag before all the payments are presented for payment. And as Andrew Haywood said earlier, we do need to do some works on the moor, but that will probably be latter part of the year, if not next year. Right, payments since the last meeting, payroll as usual, gardening, the room hire for the Methodist Church, that payment is for from August last year to date. And the defibrillator cabinet installation as well, we had to have that installed by an electrician, and electricity payments, so £1,819 worth of payments since the last meeting and no receipts.
Can I ask a question? The Methodist Church room hire, does that come out of the Buckland Brewer? Or does it come out of the BBP, out of the parish council money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't some of it come out of the Thornhill Head money, as we discussed Thornhill Head money?
Because the room hire is all about the council meetings.
Right.
The only thing that we can put through Thornhill Head is any time that I've spent on Thornhill Head, and at the end of the year, I will put through so many hours
Right.
for Clark's time on Thornhill Head.
But why can't this when we're discussing Thornhill Head more, why can't it come out Thornhill Head more money as well, so that it pays towards this room hire?
It's under the
Because-
umbrella of the parish council.
Yeah,
isn't
right,
it?
okay.
because this is just the council meeting.
Okay.
You can't
If we had a
split it.
part,
Try.
if we had a part 2 and we talk about
Yeah,
that, it could come
come under that.
there.
But then that would only be my time, really, wouldn't it? I mean, it, you
And
know, I
the
suppose you
hire.
could,
Birmingham.
yeah, you're
If-
probably
if
better off
it-
just doing it as clerk's time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
it's if it's the, like a part 2 when we don't live stream, you should get a lower rate, because I did have a word about that. Okay, because you're not using the.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh, so
okay.
we're going to have it at a lower rate, are we?
No.
No, you didn't hear that right.
Oh, so what did he say? So say it again. What did he say
If we're
again?
not using the live streaming, we
Right.
get it at a lower rate.
I
I
review
see.
the invoice, it's always sent to me for review,
Right,
and if there are any that need to be tweaked, it gets tweaked.
right, okay.
Okay.
Right, can I have somebody to propose the authorisation of outstanding payments?
It's fine.
Thanks, Phil. And somebody to second that?
Yeah.
Dave. And those all in favour? Thank you. Time is 5 to 8.
My gosh. that's-
Thank you, everybody, for turning out. I think that's one of our quickies.
You can carry on, because Ethan's not.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much.